On Outback Truckers, Russell McDonough's battling waterlogged tracks in the desert.
What I've learnt is don't get stuck in the first place.
But when the road becomes a river, his whole world collapses.
Never had something like this happen before.
Yogi's supersized load and reputation are hanging in the balance.
Even I don't reckon that's cool.
Fighting Mother Nature and country roads on the biggest week of his career.
It makes it a bit hard if you start hitting these potholes and these edges here.
In the remote outback, Corey Chapman has a volatile load that's getting a shake-up.
Brakes coming on or blowing a brake booster could start a fire.
He's on a vital supply run.
Gut feeling we're in the wrong spot.
Get lost out here, and it's a matter of life and death. In Alice Springs, Central Australia, 54-year-old Russell McDonough is getting ready to do what he does best. Pack up his mobile scrapyard and head deep into the outback.
Yeah, hi, I'm Russell from Alice Springs Metal Recyclers.
Russell's business is recycling, cleaning up the desert by turning abandoned cars into welcome cash.
We're just heading off on another one of our many missions that we've done. Probably on this trip we're going to do approximately 1,000 cars.
Russell's journey will take him from Alice Springs to the remote Aboriginal community of Nirpee, 440 kilometres northeast. From there, he'll continue on through the central desert, harvesting scrap as he goes. In all, it's a 900-kilometre round trip through some of the toughest desert roads on and off the map. For Russell and partner Nikki, recycling scrap is their business and their passion.
Russell had a dream of cleaning up a lot of the communities.
Russell's pride and joy is his mobile car crusher.
This is a car crusher that we built ourselves here in town.
He designed and built it himself from spare parts in his yard.
Russell explained exactly how he wanted to build it to me, and I always believed he could do it. He is a very intelligent man and a lovely man.
We built this crusher for a reason. We recycle the past for the future.
Fitting an entire recycling business onto the back of a truck is no mean feat. On board Russell's road train, 2 containers of equipment, his 25-tonne crusher, a 4-tonne excavator and a 17-tonne loader. At 50 metres long and 108 tonnes, Russell's rig is as long as an Olympic swimming pool and heavier than a Boeing 767.
As long as we're going in a straight line, it's not too bad. Just backing it around a corner is a bit tricky.
Today we're going to have a wash because I haven't done that yet. Just got out of bed.
At a showground in Dowran, Western Australia, 36-year-old oversized trucker Yogi is gearing up for a heavyweight challenge.
So we've got to be able to cart just about anything and everything and make sure you can get it on and get it off safely.
He's got to haul millions of dollars worth of brand new machinery to a major agricultural show. With all the big names in farming out to impress, Yogi's under huge pressure to deliver the goods on time and without a scratch.
Traffic is always a big issue. It's a bit full on the first day after the field days going down the road we go because we all go the same road. Trees and trees and trees that are driving today, trees and traffic.
Yogi's set to make a series of round trips to a farm show in Newdigate via his home in Katanning. In all, he'll cover 1,500 kilometres, like 2 round trips from London to Paris. With 6 huge machines to move in just 4 days, old mate Rob Poet will be sharing the load in a second rig. Yogi's partner in life and on the road is wife Amanda.
Hello, Amanda Janey. Time to get out of bed. We're going to go to work. We're burning daylight, Curly. We're burning daylight.
Love me, you would let me sleep longer.
I love you, Amanda.
Amanda is Yogi's pilot. It's her job to secure safe passage for the truck.
Just got a big one pulled up here on the left and they're just working on the right a bit, but there should be plenty of room.
Amanda will have to probably work a lot harder today. She gets pretty easy out of Perth and now she's out here, she's got to do a bit of work for her money, you know, so that's fantastic.
Amanda and Yogi set up their own business 3 months ago. It's meant huge sacrifices, like being away from their 2 kids.
Today, I've missed Jack getting an honour certificate at school, and apparently Lucinda's woken up this morning and she's got a big puffy fat eye and needs to go to the doctor, so it's times like that you want to be at home.
The new business has also put them deep into the red. This job is a priceless opportunity to show their clients they can deliver when the pressure's on.
So I've definitely got to be up there today. There's no ifs, buts or whats.
But there's a problem. Yogi's $150,000 trailer has been playing up when he needs it most.
If it fails today, we'll be in a world of pain.
This morning is the first time Yogi's seen his freight. He may have bitten off more than he can chew.
That's way bigger than what I anticipated, you know, like, yeah.
37-year-old tanker driver Corey Chapman is preparing for a gruelling supply run deep into the South Australian desert. His triple road train is loaded with diesel fuel, a vital source of power for some of the country's hardest to reach communities. Corey's heading off the grid and a long way from help.
If I break down, if the truck lets me down in any way and it needs a mechanic to come up, we'll be looking at 3 days for a mechanic to get to us.
He's heading from Port Augusta on a 3,000-kilometre round trip to the APY lands, a group of Indigenous communities. This vast expanse is one of the most isolated places on Earth, larger than the country of Portugal, but with a population of just 3,000. Corey also needs to make an urgent delivery to a remote mining camp.
We got about 99,000 litres, I reckon, of diesel, so.
That's enough fuel to get his own truck twice around the world. It's day 1 of a 5-day mission into the South Australian desert for the father of 3.
3,000 Ks. Let the journey begin.
Hauling fuel comes with huge risks. Any accident is bad news, but one wrong move in these rigs could end in disaster.
Not easy to get drivers to do what we do.
Corey's run will take him through the state's mining heartland. Out here, every truck can be a hazard. One mistake when being overtaken could be catastrophic.
There's a lot of dangerous goods on this road. There's some wild stuff though. That's a tanker there. No worries.
It's a tough job, but Corey's able to share the load.
Like they say with every truck driver, there's usually a good woman behind, and that's about right. Married since '98. She does all the paperwork and looks after the kids and all that kind of stuff. All I do is drive a truck. Would be all buggered without her, the kids and myself. So she's still here, so I must be doing too bad a job.
After 1,000 kilometres of bitumen, Corey's made it to the Northern Territory. His volatile load is safe, but the real test is yet to come. Tomorrow, Corey hits the dirt. Russell McDonough is heading to the community of Nirripee on a mission to crush hundreds of abandoned cars. After surviving 200 kilometres on the rough dirt, Russell's feeling lucky.
We're on a bit of a shortcut through to Nirripee. It's going to save us close to 40-odd kilometres by coming this way. It's a lot narrower, but it's actually less corrugated because it's a lot less used.
The shortcut will save time, but it's also a big gamble.
This is actually a road that I've never actually been on. The biggest hazard we're likely to encounter is just washouts.
Washouts happen when heavy rain pools in the middle of the road. Put a wheel in the wrong place and Russell's 100-tonne truck could sink like a stone. His support crew Josh and John go ahead to check out the road conditions, and the news isn't good.
Yeah, once you get up here a bit further, there's a big lake in the middle of the road.
With no room to turn around, Russell's committed.
Looks like I might be able to find a bit of a hard track just around the edge of this one. Be able to go to the right here. Some wheel tracks that look like it's getting a little bit soft on the edge, but if you lose momentum or develop any form of wheel spin, miss a gear, etc., you can become stuck there. There's nobody else coming along to give you a hand. If that's the worst we're going to find here, we're doing all right.
While he's managing to keep his truck on solid ground, the battle's not over.
Right, we've just got another bit of water right across the road. Just approaching gently. We'll pop this diff lock in. Put it back one full one, and we'll just walk it. What I've learned, the biggest clue is don't get stuck in the first place. I've got to concentrate and I'm listening very carefully to the engine. Any form of wheel spin or like sudden revving up of the engine, I'm going to have to let the engine die right down and just hope that I can lug on through.
Making progress is slow going. Russell's falling behind schedule.
All right, mate, no worries.
All right, we got through that one all right, but I don't think there's going to be any more. But it's getting a bit late in the day. Yeah. So, wouldn't mind if you get a chance as soon as you can find some hint of a sign that says Nirrupy. See if you can get in there and see if you can get a key to a room for us.
While Josh drives on ahead into town, Russell will have to take on the washed out road alone. Heavy haulage expert Yogi is facing his first big challenge on a crucial 4-day job. He's got to deliver 2 massive machines worth $500,000 each, 500 kilometres south. At 10 tonnes, each is 5 times the weight of an SUV, and at 4 metres wide, they're on the limit of what his trailer can hold.
Today, the trailer will go to its full width, which is 3.8.
To avoid windscreen damage on the road, the freight must be loaded backwards.
Amanda's going to back this on the truck for me. Amanda, over the course of the years working with me, has kind of figured out it's easier to back a machine on than it is to guide someone on.
It's down to Amanda to drive the monster machine blind and in reverse, with a 5-metre drop below. She must put her life in Yogi's hands.
Oh, you always get a little bit nervous, especially, when you're going up the ramps.
There's millimetres to spare. A single error could bring Amanda and Kendall Trucking's reputation crashing down.
It's just scare me because, wheels are hanging over the edge and things like that. And that's telling me it's all good. Don't panic.
It's vital the load is safe and secure.
And we're all good. Righto, we're going to find the other one.
As Yogi prepares to load the second machine, there's a problem. It's even wider than the first, with difficult 2-wheel steering and a sensitive throttle. Squeezing it onto his trailer will be a difficult job. This time, it's Yogi's turn at the wheel.
I've never actually driven one of those, and apparently they're a little bit touchy, so I don't want to be up here on the ramps, putting the brake on and it going sideways or something like that.
One mistake, and he could be in serious trouble.
I can't see the trailer now. I've got no vision of the trailer at all. I'll watch Robbie now.
But something's not right.
The wheel spun as we're going up the ramps because it's pretty muddy and a bit wet here, and that sort of red mud, and it spun a little bit going up the ramps. Even I don't reckon that's cool.
Yogi needs to get a grip. If he can't load the massive machine onto his trailer, he won't be going anywhere. Corey Chapman's on a fuel run to some of the most remote desert outposts in Australia. This morning, he's getting his truck ready to hit the dirt.
Dropped all our air pressure back down to 50 psi. This is where the shit starts, pretty much. Being so dusty, you can't see your back trailers. And if I can't see my back trailers, the risk is brakes coming on or blowing a brake booster or something and could start a fire. This is where the road will get very corrugated through here. This is where it's going to get shit. On fire on.
The corrugations are giving Corey's tankers a battering.
Tankers are a bit more fragile than your average trailer.
Fire isn't his only concern. The liquid load is constantly moving. On a rough dirt road like this, it can destabilise the truck, making rollovers a threat. After spending the morning on bone-shaking terrain, it's a relief to reach the Indigenous communities of the AP Wildlands. For the people living out here, Corey's fuel is vital. The 50-metre road train is too big for the narrow dirt tracks ahead. Corey must offload one of his trailers to make his first delivery. But as he prepares to pump 22,000 litres of diesel, something's wrong. The hose outlet is too short to reach his tanker.
And my hose is not long enough by about that far, so...
In an area so remote, it's a serious problem. No hose means no fuel. For the community living beyond these hills, that means no power. Corey's forced to improvise.
I'm only going to be able to use my little 2-inch hose. Join a couple of hoses together.
He'll use a narrower hose, which means he'll be pumping fuel late into the night. It's been a long, hard day, but for Corey, the end is worth it.
Pull up at night, there's no one around, no noise, nothing. You can just see the stars, and that's probably the most appealing thing about the job, I think. You know, you're out here by yourself and there's no one within miles of you.
In the remote central desert, Russell McDonough is pushing on through an assault course of washouts and bog holes. He's keen to get his triple road train to Nirrupee before dark. His support crew have gone ahead, leaving Russell alone for the final stretch.
We're coming up against one of those stretches of water. Doesn't look like I can safely keep two wheels up on the dry. If I've got one up on the hard and one set drop into the soft, if it's too soft, it's going to put me on a hell of an angle. I'll just back off a bit just in case. And we're just going to walk through it. We don't need to do the big splash. Try not to create too much damage to the road underneath. Because when this water does dry out, we don't need to have wrecked the road. Our concern is sometimes I might just be getting out of it and the heavier trailers are coming through it. So even though I think I'm clear of the woods, I've just got to feel it, and make sure the back trailers don't drag me down.
With washouts every few kilometres, progress is painfully slow, and daylight is fading fast. In an area so remote, with no support crew, getting bogged now would be Russell's worst nightmare. The road has collapsed underneath the 25-tonne crusher. It's listing badly into a deep hole.
Just struck a bit of a disaster here. We were holding a fairly good line, but the front of the second trailer's just fallen into a soft spot and she's laid over on the side. Just running a couple of ideas through my head at the moment as to how we're going to pull it back up.
Russell's out of radio range. He's alone in the middle of the desert. With his livelihood turned upside down, for Russell McDonough, this is as bad as it gets. Yogi's on a slippery slope, loading a 10-tonne boom sprayer. He's got no choice but to start again. With more jobs to come before the farm show starts, Yogi can't fall behind on his very first run.
We'll lay some rubber down. Rubber creates more friction and friction more grip. Righto, here we go. Plan B.
little bit nervous about that. What do you reckon, Robbie? What are you going to do? Is it on all right?
It's a little bit this way.
It's on, but it's still not right.
Oh, we just want to get it over a little bit.
A wheel is hanging dangerously over the edge. With a load this size and this valuable, Yogi can't go anywhere until it's millimetre perfect.
We messing around with fate here, or? No, look, I'll give it a crack.
Right. Left hand down, come forward a bit.
Yogi eases the machine back and forth, using the hair trigger throttle. One slip could mean disaster for him and his business. Tanker driver Corey Chapman is up early to make an urgent fuel drop to a mining exploration camp. It's so far off the beaten track, he can only take one trailer. Corey's only been to the camp once before, but that was a year ago. With no map to guide him, Corey's relying on memory to find it.
It's not a town or it's not a power station or anything like that. It's just a mob that's got a camp set out in the middle of nowhere.
But none of the tracks look familiar.
I've got a funny feeling we might have taken the wrong road here. And this one just turns and heads north and the other one's going to keep going west. The country should open up, not go into scrub like this. Gut feeling we're in the wrong spot.
It's a dangerous place to get lost, something Corey knows all too well.
2 years ago in Western Australia, a bloke in a road train went past his turn-off, got out in the sand, kept going, thought, shit, I'm in the wrong spot. And I think he was 40 or 60 k's past the turn-off, and he turned around and got bogged. He decided to walk, and it was hot, it was summertime, it was hot. And I think he walked 40 kilometres, and he was only 800 metres from water, and he died. He perished and died, 800 metres from water.
Corey needs to turn his fuel tanker around, but the narrow track is lined with thick bush, making a U-turn impossible.
Just find a bit of an area I can back around and...
Finally, there's a big enough clearing.
Like here's a bit of a clay pan here, so we'll just make it up here somewhere and see how we go.
Corey must put the truck into the rough, putting him at serious risk of getting dry bogged. He's far off his usual route and a long way from help. Russell McDonough is in a heap of trouble. His car crusher is capsized in a deep hole and his support crew out of radio range. As darkness falls, he must unhook his prime mover and head for Nirrupi. After a bad day, not being able to find his crew is the last thing he needs.
Where are you at the... where you drive in, or...? Oh, for sake. Here, right? Right in the middle, just driving around in circles.
Next morning, Russell heads to the council to work out a rescue plan.
And I'll chase up to see what we've got.
The Shire's agreed to lend us their grader.
Russell's hoping that between the grader, his loader and his excavator, he should have enough muscle to get the crusher out. But by daylight, the scale of the problem is plain to see. Even with 3 machines, it's going to be a tough job.
Fair bit of weight here to pull up, and the ground's a bit soft, so I'm not sure how much traction we're going to get.
Despite the challenges, Russell has a plan.
Done a good job, haven't I? If we can get it up, then we'll maybe think about maybe going back out backwards.
I'll try it, eh?
All right, no worries. Yeah, I think we'll get it out today, and hopefully we'll be crushing cars like we're supposed to this afternoon.
You know, it's not Russell's fault, it's just the road was just collapsed and let it go.
The crusher is vital to Russell's livelihood. If he can't get it out, his business will grind to a halt. It's all hands on deck. First, Russell moves the loader into position to push the car crusher upright. But there's a problem. The loader is bogged. Now, Russell's got two vehicles to rescue. Yogi's load and reputation are hanging in the balance. A vital job is at a standstill until he can get a huge boom sprayer to sit straight on his trailer.
We're on straight. I've got the nod. Tee off. We're out. Oh, Jesus.
There's more than just a valuable load riding on today's journey. After nearly a week away, Yogi and Amanda are also heading home to see their two young kids. At last, they can get underway. With so much ground to cover over the next 4 days, they need a smooth run. But already there are plenty of hazards.
Got low branches along through here too.
Yep, thanks mate, appreciate that.
These two self-propelled boom sprays, they're all got little nozzles on the top of them, so if they hit a branch and they snap, they're no good.
In this job, damaging your freight means damaging your name. Both are precious to Yogi. But with such a high and wide load, trees aren't his only problem.
Look at that crosswind coming in here at the moment. That's hard work for us. The machines are so high, they've got such a big centre of gravity. The wind just gets underneath them and it drags you along. It feels like it's all day just rocking and rolling and carrying on. The truck works a lot harder, so your fuel economy goes down. Fuel's going in, the money's going out.
On the trailer, something's not right. The 10-tonne load still isn't straight.
It's not quite square as to where I want it to be. We're a little bit over one side, but just the nature of the machine and a little bit wet and a little bit of mud around today.
The rain's now bucketing down, and the single track is barely wide enough for the oversized truck. Yogi's running out of room.
This is what it becomes like now, single lane, rough edges.
His 12 trailer wheels are dangerously close to the drop-off.
Makes it a bit hard if you start hitting these potholes and these edges here. There's a lot of caution got to be taken through this section.
Yogi's on a knife edge. If his wheels go too far into the rough, his truck and $500,000 worth of freight could be in serious trouble. Corey Chapman needs to turn his truck around. It's a high-risk manoeuvre. The soft clay pan could crumble under the weight of his 47-tonne rig, leaving him stranded. He's in luck. The ground holds up.
If I had 2 or 3 trailers coming in here, it would have been friggin' headache.
But the wrong turn has rattled Corey.
I would have been pissed off. If I broke down completely and they come looking for me and say, well, he's not on this road.
The search for the mining camp continues. Their fuel was running low, even before Corey left Port Augusta. And that was days ago.
It's pretty easy to take the wrong track. No signs, no street directory. Just go by a tree that's on the corner. Turn right there and hope for the best. Pretty much how it works.
Finally, after a long search,
there they are. So they're in the same spots. No worries at all.
It's a huge relief. Corey's found the miners, and just in time, they were down to their last litres of fuel.
Pretty low to territory, so lucky you just made it, I think.
About 25 litres, she's pretty much empty, so they would have been starting to panic.
The wrong turn has cost precious time. With 2 more drops to make today, Corey's racing the clock. Russell McDonough's day is going from bad to worse. His rescue effort has backfired. First his car crusher, and now his 17-tonne loader are bogged deep in the mud. Now he's relying on a 12.5-tonne grader to pull it free. If he can't get the loader out, his mission to save his stranded crusher will be over before it's even begun. While the loader's free, he couldn't have picked a worse place to get stuck.
It's still soft here too, eh?
Yep.
Yeah. Only just looks dry.
It's just like soup underneath. It's a water course, and the water course is coming through here.
An underground river and weeks of rain have made this the bog from hell. It's time for Plan B. The grader will skim mud away from under the crusher to make it easier to lift upright.
Well, we got a problem here, fellas.
Now the grader is stuck. This Outback crash is fast becoming a pile-up. Russell's running out of options. He decides to risk the loader one more time. But in this mess, the grader's going nowhere.
Still too wet.
Time for Plan C. Build up the mud so the grader's wheels can grip. With pieces of wood, tree branches, finally, tyres. Nothing's working. Then, disaster. The grader gives up the fight altogether. Now the crusher and the grader are bogged to their axles. After 30 years of driving trucks in the Outback, this is turning into the fight of Russell's life.
Normally I'm the person that people turn to when they want a tough job done. So I'm the one that sort of got it in this position. So I reckon I should be the one to get it out.
Yogi's prize load has survived a narrow stretch of track. The end of a grueling run is in sight, but there's been a setback.
The load I had on Sunday is no longer, so it's not ready. The machine's not ready. Not ready for display. So yeah, what do we do? You've lost $3,000 income for the day, and you get home and all Jack wants to do is play trucks and back his truck into load it up and drive and pretend like his dad, you know.
Having a job fall through has left Yogi wondering if all the sacrifices are worth it.
Long month, long 3 months actually. Yeah. Long time, mate, long time.
Finally, the truck rolls into Newdigate. He's on time and the load is intact.
Here we are at Newdigate.
If the boom sprayers are offloaded without a hitch, they could get home in time to see the kids.
I haven't actually driven one off before. I've only driven them on.
With both machines landed safely on solid ground,
Do you do that often?
I'm always helping my escorts.
it's time to get back on the road and head home.
Oh, come here.
Corey Chapman's fallen behind on his marathon desert run. He still has hundreds of kilometres to drive today to the Western Australian border. Despite the long hours, Corey must stay focused, pumping volatile fuel late into the night.
Last job for the night.
It's the final leg of the grueling 5-day run. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a dust storm.
What a shocking day. The winds got worse.
Violent winds are wreaking havoc on Corey's 62-wheel rig. Visibility is poor. His last, biggest drop is still 300 kilometres away. But right now, Corey's struggling to see 30 metres ahead.
Righto, big wheels.
Son Jack and Yogi have taken his truck in for a much-needed pit stop. It's been an exhausting 3 months with so much time away from home. Tomorrow's a special day and Yogi has to work.
Oh, that means we're going to miss Father's Day tomorrow.
I've already got you 6 presents.
How many?
6.
That's got me all down the dumps. Like, it's Father's Day tomorrow. Do we want to work tomorrow?
With $1 million worth of machinery to deliver in the next 2 days, Yogi's under huge pressure. But his trailer problems are back.
Unfreaking believable.
A critical brake line is leaking air.
That could quite easily lock the brakes on, so if the brakes boosters lock on, I'll scuff out 4 more tyres, you know.
His freight and his truck are going nowhere until the problem's fixed.
I don't want to load it and for it to fail and the airbags to drop down, so we've had to shut the whole show down this afternoon. So around about 155 grand we've invested in this trailer, and I just don't know why it's giving me bulk amount of dramas, you know, like it's almost like it's second hand.
The farm show won't wait. Time is running out.
Here we are. Got to fix this hose on a Saturday afternoon in the busiest time of the year. With the downtime I've had in the trailer, I've probably lost around $12,000, $13,000 in downtime.
Yogi needs to fix the problem fast, or his business may be beyond repair. Corey Chapman is battling through a dust storm to get to his final diesel drop.
Go slow to reduce the amount of dust, but weather like this, you can't really avoid it too much.
Hundreds of people are depending on his load of life-sustaining fuel.
We use over 10,000 litres a day.
That's it. We're empty.
I'll put the kettle on.
No worries.
After days alone in the Outback, it's a relief to share a yarn with power station manager Neville Mitchell. Neville's had a few dramas of his own. A camel that got stuck in the power station fence had to be put out of its misery. But out here, nothing goes to waste.
That's only one front leg. Camels are big.
At last, another grueling desert run is done. It's time to head for home. He's travelled to some of the most remote outposts on Earth. But for Corey Chapman and the communities who depend on him, what matters is their tanks are full and life can go on.
End of the day, everyone's happy.
Russell McDonough is staring down the barrel of a disaster. If he can't get a broken down grader working and out of a deep bog hole, his hopes for rescuing his stranded car crusher will be in ruins. The whole job rests on Russell's mechanical skills. Mr. Fix-It has done it again. While the grader's working, it's still stuck fast. As the team try and dig it out, the scale of what they're up against is clear. The ground is saturated. It could be up to 3 months before the road dries out.
Want to keep working, you've got to get it out.
The time has come for one last go.
Come on, Dougie, give it over. Come on, move it around. Hey, come on, get up there. Come on. Come on. Come on. Hey. You can smile again.
Oh, yeah, we're back to where we were this morning, but anyway.
Nightfall is just a couple of hours away. Russell's losing time and money. He can't give up. To try and right the car crusher, Russell takes another gamble on the loader in the soft mud. But the Outback nightmare goes on. The loader is stuck again.
We've never had something like this happen before.
With every move he makes, Russell's sinking deeper into more and more trouble. If he can't find a way out, his reputation and business will be ruined.
This is